Hi, how are you? So I'm going to wait a new and smaller audience, but I'm going to wait for maybe one or two people to pop on. But I wanted to talk today about isolation and anger and uh, all of the feelings that come together when you are feeling isolated, fearful, angry. And I want to go through how all of this affects you right now. And it doesn't even matter whether, there's some people who say COVID is a hoax, other people who are very afraid. There are people who are angry at the media. There are people who are angry at their political leaders. It doesn't matter where you sit in all of this, really. We're all being affected by it. So even if you think that you're not being affected by it, even if you say, well, COVID's a hoax and I love all the political leaders, you're still being affected by it. Okay. And when we have all of this fear and anger and isolation, that actually harms our immune system. But I'm not saying for you to go in the other direction and have no fear at all. Your fear is there for a reason. Your anger is there for a reason. Your feeling of isolation is not only a mindset, but it's saving you. Okay. So let's go into this a little bit deeply. Hey, I see someone's here. I don't know who you are because I don't see the whole thing on this side. But if you can say something below and let me know that you're there, that would be awesome. So where do I start? Okay, let's first talk about isolation. Isolation creates disconnect. We have a certain level of eye to eye connection that we have with people, even if you live alone, just going to the grocery store or doing your day to day business, even in your workplace, you have some eye connection and you have some just basic connection with the outside world. You don't feel like you are, as my one friend put it, in a prison. Now, some people feel great. I'm an introvert, believe it or not. I work from home anyway. I have for years. So being at home isn't that big of a deal most of the time. I miss going to the bookstore once in a while, but in general, my life hasn't changed. Hi, how are you? Yes, I am live right now. So, and hold on, let me just say hello in here. Hold on. Hello. All right. And anyway, so what happens is when we are isolated and when we are so very disconnected, our immune system does go down a little bit. But I'm going to give you ways to help your immune system right now because I don't want you, hi Cheryl, I don't want you to feel any kind of lack of disconnect. So if you have any feelings of isolation, fear, or anger, or whatever you're feeling, go ahead and write it in the chat. It'll help other people because I'm going to keep this so that other people in the future can look at it for the next couple of weeks, hopefully the next couple of weeks. I first want to just do a little, and when I say quick breathing exercise, really quick, I just want us to take a big inhale, big exhale. I don't know when the last time you guys worked out, when the last time you took a big inhale and exhale. I don't know if some of you guys that are watching are sick right now, very healthy. I don't know where you are in this, but I want for all of us, no matter where you sit on the spectrum of how your feelings are, I want us all to be safe and healthy. And I want, if I had a magic wand, tomorrow morning we would all wake up and say, wow, we just had this horrible bad dream. And, but that's not the case. So we just have to make the best of it. Okay. So, like any trauma or any crisis, making the best of it sounds easier said than done, right? Let me just move this a little bit. So, it sounds easier said than done. Excuse my boxes in the back. That's my cleaning supplies. I should show you all of my cleaning supplies. So, this is my side office, really quickly. My family, they're essential workers, have to come in to my office, disrobe in that corner. There's cleaning supplies, everything else. And right through this door over here, there's a hallway that goes to the laundry room. So they come in, they disrobe, and they just go right through to the laundry room. Their clothes go directly in the laundry. They go, they get showers. Life is very different here. And it probably is very different for you too, whether you're an essential worker or living with one or isolated right now, in quarantine, shelter down. Life is very freaking different. And I was just watching someone who I really respect, two women that I really respect, Marie, and I'm going to put her link somewhere soon. If you look up chic and elegant living and chic and Marie Lecour, her, and then also Justine, and I cannot say Justine's last name, which is really horrible, but I'll put her information too. Justine is a designer and does a lot of fashion. Both of these women are also in the fashion world helping people as well with looking better, feeling better. And one thing that oh, physically got a cold. Yeah, it's horrible. Um, Yeah, isn't it? It's really it is a nightmare. It's very much a nightmare. So Cheryl says that, physically she has a cold, mentally people telling her the nuts are at the bottom of the cage. The seniors paid for the nuts. I've detached for over 30 years. Things I cannot change. What a nightmare. It is. It's very much a horrible place right now. But here's how you can make some changes in your life, okay? So because we're disconnected, because we are suffering as we need to stay connected verbally, texting, connecting, um, commenting on videos. If you go to certain YouTubers, myself, I know Justine, I know Marie, we all definitely comment and we stay connected. A lot of us have support groups. Now, I'm a therapist, so my support group's a little bit differently. It's the Sanity Soiree. It's 100% free, and it's an app. And I don't have my phone with me. So it's an app, and you can download the app, or you can get to it right from your computer. And we stay connected there as well. And that's like 24/7. We stay connected. But you need to find something where you stay connected. But I highly, highly suggest it not being Facebook. Let me tell you why I feel that Facebook right now is both a, a bloom and a flower and a thorn. There are so many people right now reacting, okay? So there's a lot of people like mad at the media, mad at leaders, mad at people that are wearing masks, mad that people are wearing masks, mad at everything. And so people are reacting right now because they've been in isolation, and in the beginning it was a novelty, right? When we first had to, shop a little bit, social distance a little bit, it was more of a novelty, but it's not a novelty anymore. And what's happening is people are really feeling the stress of their life being altered. Most people have in their mind what a 2-week vacation feels like or a 1-week vacation feels like. We are trained from a very young age in most cultures to only go out of our norm for a week or two. So now we're on 4 weeks, many of us, 4 weeks, 6 weeks of isolation and of everything else. And it's absolutely horrible. It's it's scary because we're not used to making these changes, we're feeling it physically. And I don't want you to feel, I wanted to teach you today how to be more flexible in your mindset so that isolation doesn't get to you. Number one, definitely, Cheryl just said she's reached out in contact with her children and everything. You need to stay more fluid in your interactions. You need to get on the phone. So it's not just enough to uh, text and type and stuff. You need to have interactions that are, I won't say like this because it's one sided, kind of. In my personal group, and I'm not trying to sell my personal group to you, but anything that you can do with Zoom or any kind of Skype or whatever, you need to see people face to face. You need to be able to have interactions that are very meaningful, and that you can really, like, if you need to cry, you cry. You need to be able to do this. I personally right now, I'm going to be honest, I have all of the resources and skills, okay? I'm a therapist, but I'm scared shitless right now because my son is an EMT and he is out in this. He barely slept last night, and I don't know what kind of protective wear he has right now. I don't know if they've run out. I don't know if he has it. It's scary. But I am trusting that he's doing the best he can. His management is doing the best they can. I'm doing the best I can. The greater good in general is, for the most part, pulling together. Even the people who are complaining a lot are still kind of pulling together. Yeah, sure, there's people that aren't wearing masks, and for whatever reason, they have some kind of power thing with it, like, or a weird power thing about staying home. That's okay. That's speaking of their own issues and their own hangups, and it is what it is. But to have to go through this. But you know what? We raised really great kids, right? I mean, we have to keep thinking about that. We raised these children who are going out and doing amazing things, and we raised people that are helping and healing other people. That's amazing. So as much as we worry. I'm worried about my daughter. She's not an essential worker, but I worry every time she goes to the grocery store. I always say to her, I mean, we're talking a woman, this she's almost 30, and I still say to her, "Are you wearing your mask? You know, make sure you wipe off the cart." I'm still worried about her because it's natural. And so when you see people that are saying like fear is bad, don't worry about fear. Listen, most of those people are not therapists that are telling you that. Most people that are writing those articles saying that you shouldn't have fear are not therapists. They're journalists. Very smart, but they're not therapists. It's completely normal to have fear. It's completely valid to be worried right now. It's valid. Evolutionary speaking, the fear and everything else that we're feeling right now is because we know the difference between something scary that could hurt us and something completely benign. So it's very normal. When the world shuts down and every single leader is scurrying around to save the health and even financial structure of their nation, it's big. Okay. So when someone tells you, or when someone poo poos the fact that you are showing valid concern, it's a big deal. Yes, a face shield is a very good idea. A very good idea. What I did also was I purchased a bunch of air purifier material from a company. Um, oh, what is the company? I think it's called Filter, FITLR, though, without the E. And so they create air purifiers. And I asked them if I could have some of the material that goes in the air purifiers, and they sold it to me. So I have a lot of this material, and I just keep cutting it out. So even if my son or my husband or my daughter, son in law, whoever, neighbors, if they have to go out, they can put this air filter in their mask, regardless of the kind of mask that they have. So it's always going to be extra protection. And if you layer that up twice, that's also more protection. I'm very concerned about like what happens in summer. Like right now, it's not so bad where I live, because it's fairly. It goes back and forth between a kind of okay day to a cool day. I mean, today we just had snow, very bizarre, flurries. But you know, when it gets warmer out, are people going to be wearing their masks all the time because they're going to be hot? And people that are not used to wearing a mask often don't understand that it can get very hot in that mask. And I just hope that people continue to do that. A face shield is definitely good. I don't know if I have it handy, but it's over there. I'm not going to get it right now. But there's also plastic glasses that you can order online. And when I go to the store, I have the mask, I have the glasses. I don't care that I look silly. It's not about ego, it's about safety. It's more important for me to be here for my grandchild. So, what are the kind of things that you can do to take away some of the fear, anxiety, and all of that? And that is connection is number one. And also knowing that, um, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. That's absolutely true. They don't, people aren't really, there's a lot that people can be doing right now to really safeguard their homes or nursing homes. And I feel like just we're not being told enough what to do. We're giving a lot of different types of, well, yes, you need to do this. No, you don't do this. And you know, it is, we're getting a lot of conflicting messages, but I think we have to take it into our own hands of what are the different things that we can do to really protect ourselves. One thing that I love, and I'm not selling it, although I do have a link below. Let me just tell you right now. Let me tell you, I wish that this was a scratch and sniff screen. If you guys have ever had thieves, someone near you, even if you don't get it from me, find someone near you that sells thieves. It's amazing. I always spray down. Well, I shouldn't say directly spray. I get a tissue and I spray my little keyboard. I do that because as soon as you spray if you're somebody that's typing a lot, you need to make sure your keyboard, your mouse, your computer screen, everything is very, very clean, not just the lights and floors and anywhere, especially if you have a little one around. You want to clean anything that's on the lower area as well. But I'm getting off the topic right now. Let's go back to what you do if you have, let's say, isolation. We already understand that we need to connect more. What about fear? When you have fear fear is going to cause, if you don't get it in check. So I'm saying, I want you to be cautious, but I don't want you to, and it's okay if you escalate every now and then in fear, that's okay. As long as you take a bubble bath, you do a hot shower, read a good book, do nurturing things, garden. You don't have to go to I mean, there's a lot of ways to garden and do things that can really help you. Um, I want you to do things that are very nurturing. The more you nurture your health, the more those little spikes in fear are not going to raise cortisol levels. Now, this is what I don't like. When people say, pamper yourself, right? Okay, that sounds great and wonderful, but why the hell would you pamper yourself? A lot of people, either they don't know why, they're just saying it feels good, or they don't understand how it can help you long term. So, in positive psychology, and I know I'm speaking really quickly here, but I don't want to waste your time. In positive psychology, there is this idea and theory. It's proven, but we don't know to what extent, okay? That positive emotions temper the negative emotions. So, meaning if you have fear and that's spiking, if it spikes once, twice, and three times, right? But in between, you keep positive emotions and pampering and self care. I shouldn't really say pampering. It is pampering, but it's self care, self love. If you can keep them dotted in between, those areas of self care are going to help you so much more. So you're going to have that self care, and that self care is going to stop the effects of fear and anger and anxiety and depression. Those peaks and those emotions are going to be tempered by these positive emotions. The positive emotions don't feel as strong. So if you feel fear, right? So if I go outside right now and I step in front of a car, I'm going to feel fear and anxiety immediately. It's going to be big. But I might not, if I go outside and I just like look at the trees and I just breathe the fresh air, I might feel content, joy, bliss, awe. I might feel a lot of really positive emotions, but they won't like jar me. Now, why is this important for you to know? Because we tend to not pay attention to the things that don't jar us. We might remember being very embarrassed or very much first in love, but we don't remember like the day-to-day moments, okay? But those are the moments, taking a look outside. I'm looking right now because I'm looking at trees, looking outside at trees and at the sky, daydreaming, just being outside, listening to music that brings you back to a positive memory. All of these types of activities and emotions that you can conjure up between the moments of fear and anger and pain and all of these other things. For the moms out there, the dads, the worry about your adult children or grandchildren, all of these emotions help to temper, bring down, and balance out the negatives. Why this is important is because if you have too many of these negatives, you're going to have nothing but, hold on. No, I don't know. I don't necessarily want you to detach. Let me tell you, and I'll tell you why in a minute. So Cheryl brought up something about detaching. So I'm going to tell you about that in a second, why you should not detach, because it pushes things down. It's almost a form of denial to your brain. On the cognitive level, not so much. Like you can detach and just do your thing, but it does push emotions down, which is why so many nurses, police officers, prison guards, anyone who needs to detach on a daily basis ends up with anxieties and things like that. So back to the reason why, and we're going to get to the detaching in a minute. If you can keep your negatives, the fear and the anger and things like that we perceive as negative, tempered, feel those feelings. Like if you feel fear and you want to freak out, feel those feelings. Like if you feel fear and you want to freak out, freak out. Feel is after you feel them, make sure that you keep going in to these other areas. Like last night, wrong idea. Let me just tell you a quick story. I thought, I'm going to watch TV. I'm going to watch a new show. I usually watch more of like The Crown, or like I was a Downton Abbey person, like things that are just like take me away a little bit, different time and space. I like looking at the outfits, kind of like mind numbing, but enjoyable. I also am a really big fan of, the Dick Van Dyke Show and I Dream a Genie and Lost in Space, like anything 60s and 70s, I'm there. Frasier, another one, I'm there. But last night, let me tell you what I did last night. Wrong. I did 2 things really wrong last night. Well, actually 3. That sounded so inappropriate, but it's not inappropriate. So the first thing I did wrong, I ate pickles because I just decided, like, if I'm gonna keep, if I'm at home and I wanna munch every now and then, sometimes a pickle is a good idea. So I had a pickle. Then my husband said, "Do you want some ice cream?" Now, I lean more towards a vegan lifestyle, him not so much, but I went ahead and I had the Ben& Jerry's ice cream. So now hear me out. I had, a pickle, and I don't mean just like a little pickle, okay? I had like a kosher pickle, and then I had ice cream soon after that, which in my stomach was like an explosion. Okay, so I had that going on. Then I decided to watch this new show called on Prime. I think it's on Prime, maybe Netflix, called Eureka. I think it's called Eureka, The Town of Eureka. Let me tell you right now, very freaky show. I had nightmares all night long. And we also have so that was my 3 things I did wrong. Pickles right before bed, ice cream right before bed, and this show Eureka. Bottom line of what I'm getting at here is that, so I do all these like really bad decisions that felt great in the moment. Let me tell you, the pickle was amazing, the ice cream was amazing, and the show was fun. Would I do it again? Absolutely yes. Would it be another bad idea? Absolutely yes. Bottom line is though, I did these things on a path to like enjoy myself, let loose a little bit, because that's how I let loose, by eating and watching ice or watching TV. So I did that, and this morning when I woke up, I was able to laugh about it because it was like I had a horrible night. In fact, you could probably see my eyeballs, like, ugh. So I had this like not great night because I kept waking up. We have an alarm system, a security system with our house. Like cameras are like everywhere. I woke up, nothing went off, but I checked my alarm system. So technically 4 things I did wrong. I'm getting to a point here this about you guys. So I checked my alarm system and I saw something that looked like a person standing. Well, it wasn't a person standing. It was a thing outside that like we have hanging, like a chimes. So anyway, that was all weird. So what I did, oh, popcorn. You know what? I don't eat popcorn, and let me tell you why. One of my best friends is a dentist, and he said he makes all of his money on popcorn and caramel. He said if it weren't for popcorn and caramel, he would be broke. I know that was a joke, but he said a lot of people break their teeth and also get things caught in their gum with popcorn. So I don't do that. And I'm also allergic to corn, so I don't do corn anyway. But the bottom line is why I'm telling you the story is like because when I had all of that distraction going on, it wasn't really helping me. It would have been better for me to go, you know what? Okay, our son just left for a 2-day shift and I am worried about him. It would have been better for me to maybe talk about that with my husband than eat a pickle, ice cream, and then watch a scary show. But I did what I did. So when you can bring happiness. So what I did this morning was in this room, because this is also my workout room. It's my office, it's my YouTube room, and it's my workout room. And now it is the decompression room for when the essential employees come in the house. So on this screen, my computer screen, which is fairly big, I put on my workout. I did a bar workout in here. It was great. I got a sweat going, and that actually helped me. That made me feel like, okay, I'm moving around. I'm doing something really positive. And yeah, it is still a distraction at least, But sometimes, now I don't mind distractions, but what I don't want you guys to do, or me to do, is get in the habit of detaching. Detaching is different. So as a therapist, you're taught how to detach from your client, okay? So if somebody comes in, and I've had this a lot, where someone comes in and they tell me these like really horrible stories of their childhood or something they're going through, and it could be something that was similar to what I've been through in the past, so it could easily trigger me if I let it. So certain things can like bring more emotion up in me if I allowed it. Now, I don't detach in a way that I push it down. Like I'm not hearing it and then pushing it down. So what I do as a therapist, and this is going to be maybe helpful for you guys, I almost imagine that when someone's speaking to me, that they're telling me something and I'm holding a rose up. So I don't have a flower here. I'll use my lipstick, which I didn't put on. Hold on. Anyway, so I will put, this is a rose right now. Imagine a full bloom. So I have the full bloom here and I have thorns. So when somebody is telling me about their childhood abuse or about something that's happened in their life or being assaulted, which I was assaulted when I was 20, left for dead, blah, blah, blah. I won't get into it. But if they're telling me something similar, I'm imagining that only compassion and love and healing is going through the flowers and the thorns, so the bloom, but the thorns are catching anything that might affect me. Because in my head, when someone is speaking to me, about their trauma, all I focus on is this person is opening up, they're being vulnerable, and I'm allowing this to flow. But anything that might hurt me or that I transfer to them is going to hurt them. So these thorns are going to be this protection for both of us, but the love and the compassion and the empathy is able to go back and forth. So when you are looking at, say, Facebook, okay, Facebook right now literally is like a mental hospital, okay? Because you have a lot of people who are, and I don't mean that in a mean way, you have almost everyone on some level who is more heightened. I recently had a family member who was very upset that I posted something. It wasn't even a negative thing. It was about a tiger in the Bronx Zoo having COVID. But for whatever reason, this really triggered this person. So I kind of let it go, and I hid that person from, and I hid some other people from future posts that will be like that. Because my intent is not to, if I share news, and just like if you share something, it's not usually with the intent. And when I say usually, I mean some people do things just to trigger people, which I don't get that. But if you're sharing something, you're sharing it because you find it interesting and you hope that other people, that you might be helping someone else. Well, this triggered him and he got really not upset. I mean, I think he was upset with me, but he was trying to temper it with like saying kind things like, as your blah, 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 I just want you to know. So, oh, the petals are plucked off. Yeah, I'll go into that in a second. But so when you have something like that, you want to keep emotions down. So if you feel that something that you're posting is going to offend someone, just hide them from it, or just post it only to yourself so that you can go back and look at it and decide in an hour, is this something I want to share with other people? And also, if someone does say something to you and they are sensitive to you, then you just have to own that they're going through their own stuff. They're going through their own trauma in their own way, their own crisis in their own way. People that tend to, it's not looking on the bright side. There's two different types of people. There's people that look on the bright side, that are very much aware of what's happening, and they can see like, okay, hey, here's the reality in front of us. How can we make this better? There's also people who don't want to hear anything. They're very uncomfortable with anything that is um, confrontational. They might be very nervous about, like, they don't know how to handle negative emotions. So those people tend to react more. So in general, you do have to look at the entirety of Facebook, of Twitter, Instagram, not so much. That's pretty much just pictures and whatever. But anything where people are interacting a lot, you just have to, take it with a grain of salt. People are going to say things also. Not only are we in the middle of this COVID thing, but if you're in the United States, we're in the middle of a political thing. And then on top of it, there is a heightened sense of, I feel like, racism and other things happening. And in general, people aren't really living a very healthy lifestyle. So for the first time, people are now with their families and having to cook more dinners, which is a blessing. But some people are uncomfortable with that. So when you're looking at social networking, it's really important to also understand that, take things with a grain of salt. They might be irritating. It might be interesting, but irritating. You might see a lot of emotions rising with social networking of a immunologist or politician than you ever expected, right? I actually don't know. It says my connection is unstable. Please wait while we are reconnecting. I don't even know if you're seeing this right now. If you could let me know. Are you seeing this right now? Because my connection keeps going out. Ugh, the weather here is crazy. Anyway, take everything on social networking with a grain of salt. Because if you put too much weight into how people are reacting, understand, when people are stressed out, they react crazy. They react in ways that you don't even, oh, Eric! I love Eric. He's a friend of mine. Eric. So Anyway, when you are on social networking, you do have to really think about understanding that people are going to have heightened emotions, very, very heightened emotions. They are going to say things that might be offensive to you. They are going to do things that might be offensive. They're going to post things that might be offensive. Or you're going to look at people and scratch your head and think, how does this person tie their shoes in the morning when it clearly looks like they don't know what they're talking about. Like, there's a lot of people that I'm pretty sure have not even matriculated to high school biology too, who are suddenly immunologists on Facebook. So you have to understand that, or they never were in student council, but now they're like telling you how the president should be. And it doesn't matter how you feel about politics or health. The bottom line is understand that other people are going to say and do things, and it's mostly out of trauma. When people are stressed, when people are very traumatized, their frontal lobe does not work as much. Okay, like in a really most think of it as a cog, like a steampunk. Okay, one cog's just going around doing its thing, not really working, maybe a little rusty, but the emotions take over. And when the emotions take over, that cog just cannot work correctly. So when people are stressed out on Facebook and they are having all of this stimulation by scrolling, which we have become accustomed to, all of this. Um, oh, Doctors Without Borders are in Toronto. Wow, really? Wow, 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 wow. Talk more about that because I would like to hear more about that, Cheryl, about the Doctors Without Borders. So, are you saying that Doctors Without Borders are actually in Toronto to help, or is it that they're being trained to go somewhere else? Because that's scary. Both ways, it's scary. But it's pretty bad here in different areas. There's different areas that are hot spots, like New York City, very bad. Out of all the counties in my state in Pennsylvania, Chester County is higher. We have more demographic, so our numbers are higher. But I also believe, in general, I know for a fact because my son is an EMT, but I know, and many of my friends are in the medical community, including COVID unit management, that we don't have enough testing. So the numbers that we're seeing, I think, across the United States and probably world are less than we think. But on the good note, again, there's a lot of people, like when I say less, there's people that are walking around with no symptoms, people that are walking around with mild symptoms, or people that have already had it and didn't even know they had it. Like just because we know about it as of whatever, March or February, doesn't mean it wasn't here. Okay, let's get real. People have been traveling, so it could have been here for months. But the bottom line is, you need to stay connected. You need to stay connected with people, eye to eye contact, interact as much as possible, text, whatever. People that are friends of mine or clients of mine know to text me morning, noon, and night. I don't care. Wake me up at 2 o'clock in the morning. If you can get me up at 2 o'clock in the morning by my phone, power to you because I sleep pretty much like a log. But if I do hear the text, I'm going to be there for you. I mean, I have a very flexible schedule right now, so it's okay. And also, oh wow, they're setting up in Toronto for the homeless. Oh, I just think like we should all like if you are spiritual people at all, pray, meditate, whatever for the homeless, for the our elders, for families, for children, for everybody. But especially, with these demographics that are like the forgotten people, we need to remember that they're there and they're very much a part of the fabric of our society. I mean, we need to stick together. We need to be there for other people. It's so important. But I want you to be there for yourself, number one. And I know that people, especially because I talk about narcissists a lot on this channel, because a lot of the problems that we've had, whether it was childhood, teen years, whatever, your bullies, they were narcissists. Parents that maybe treated you poorly had a narcissist tendency, even if they didn't mean to. Like I've talked about it a lot. My father was unwell for a lot of my young, early years through no fault of his own. He was sick, he was in bed, so he wasn't able to give me the emotions that a father who was alive and well and vibrant would be able to give me. So there were narcissistic tendencies, even though he didn't mean them to be like that, even though he wasn't a malignant person. So Oh, that is true. Well, that is really true, Cheryl. So, it's very important for us to put ourselves first. So, hold on one second. Hold on. You know what? I'm a little nervous because now I'm in Pennsylvania and the weather is crazy. Like today, it flurried twice. And a couple days ago, it was beautiful, sunny, and I was in shorts outside. But I have a little bit of a postnasal drip, a little bit of a stuffy nose. Of course, I'm scared to because of that. Excuse my language, but of course, I'm a little worried. But it's also allergy time and whatever. But anyway, we need to put ourselves first. And the reason why we need to put ourselves first is because if we don't take care of ourselves, if we don't focus on caring for ourselves, loving ourselves, taking that time to every single day do an activity. I really, really mean this. You guys have no idea how important it is right now, regardless of what happened. So 2 months ago, I wouldn't have put this much stress on make sure you work out 5 to 10 minutes a day. I am not kidding. I don't care if right now you are looking at me as a quadriplegic in a wheelchair. I want you to move your eyebrows 10 minutes a day. Like you have to move 10 minutes a day with your heart rate up. You need to keep your lungs very healthy. And by doing cardiovascular activity, it helps the lungs and the immune system. It pushes out the lymph. It really stimulates the body. If you have an understimulated body, okay, and you get sick on top of that, your body is going to have to work 3 times as hard to fight any infection, allergy, whatever, virus, whatever it is. So I want you to make sure that whatever you're doing, 5 to 10 minutes a day. Now, today I did 45 minutes and I'm going to go on the bike later on. I'm going to make sure that I keep moving because it's very important for your endorphins and your mood and also for your immune system. I can't even stress that enough. In fact, if most people that had anxiety and depression would move 30 minutes a day to get their heart rate up first thing in the morning, their entire trajectory of the day would look completely different. And it's proven, it is proven in science, scientific studies over and over and over. In fact, yoga, now don't quote me on if it's twice or 3 times a week because I forget this. I think it's twice a week. Yoga twice a week for 8 weeks did as much as Prozac did without the side effects. So it's really important for you to get up and moving for your mood. Also, your GI system. It's okay if you have some crummy food once in a while. Hey, like I told you, I had pickles and ice cream last night. And no, I am not pregnant. I am way too old. But the bottom line is when you have something like that and you're going to eat like that, well, then you make sure the next day that you recuperate. You need to make sure that you are very healthy. Like, for instance, I'm doing nothing but green drinks for most of the day, and it's very filling. So that's kind of a way to like get rid of that like ice cream physiological thing that I set up, which is probably why I'm stuffed up because I usually don't eat ice cream and a lot of sugar these days. So in general, yeah, yoga is absolutely amazing. And if you have a special kind of yoga that you like, so anyone that's watching now or in the future, this is future Michelle talking to present you. Um, what kind of yoga do you like? Now, I personally like a combination of not really I don't really like the spiritual types of yoga because and fluid movements and so forth, but whatever you like, you like. But for me personally, I like more of a power yoga. Also, I do like a recovery, like a yoga therapy. I am actually in physical therapy right now, and I have all kinds of shoulder issues and other issues going on. But oh, you put garlic in yours. Very nice. That sounds amazing. Mine right now is, if you guys want this recipe, first of all, it tastes a lot better than it looks. This is a carrot, spinach. I don't even measure it. I just like throw spinach in it. And oh yeah, they are good. They are good. I do carrot, spinach, turmeric. There is almond butter in it and a little almond milk. I added water to this because I wanted a lot more. And I didn't want like I didn't need that much almond milk. I put some almond milk for consistency, then added water. What else do I have in there? I have a couple of dates in there, not people dates, not like, "Hey, have a date with me, and by the way, can I fit you in my blender?" But like, dates. What else did I put in there? I forget, but there was quite a bit of I also put vitamin C powder in it, I put collagen powder in it, I put I get beet okay, beet powder is amazing, but it can be very expensive. So what I do instead is I get beet powder capsules and I put one capsule, I open it up and I put one capsule of beet in it. Beet is incredibly good for your cardiovascular system and your energy levels. So I do that as well. What else? I think that's about it that's in this, but it is really delicious. Made it a little thick, but it is what it is. Um, anyway, so handling isolation and fear and anger are all normal responses to crisis. Don't let anybody tell you that these are wrong. Don't let anyone tell you. Now, I get that a lot of the media can sensationalize, because they want click through rate, right? They want click through rate because then it becomes they get click through rate and they get money for that. And I get that some of the topics are outlandish, like the headlines. I get that, but for the most part, they're not lying. Okay, so and you know what? Here's the bottom line. Even if you think that they are lying, the bottom line is you can stay away from the media if you wish, but you still need to get your news. You still need to know what's happening in the world. So if you're someone that really doesn't like the media and you have one particular media that you like, but you don't like the rest of them, you don't have to tell people about it. Just you do you. And when other people are telling you what you should be looking at and what you shouldn't be looking at, just don't worry about it. Like that's them reacting. It doesn't matter. Um, yeah, dairy is like not great. I don't know if you have any Jewish in your background, but um, uh, any like a lot of people of Middle Eastern background have a big problem with dairy, and it's like not good at all. So, oh, he died of bowel cancer. Oh, yeah, apple cider and vinegar did nothing for him. Yeah, I think that there's a lot of it's good in a way, but it's not a cure. And I think that's where, it takes a lot of it's physical, but it's also emotional. But you need like it's a genetic dice. My mother died of a cancer that was very rare, not genetic. She did a lot right, but she wasn't perfect. And we all have to go of something, and it's very sad. And we do as much as we can to be as healthy as we can. And hopefully that wasn't too long ago. But I don't know if he passed away recently or not. Now, my mother passed away 20 years ago, and it still feels like yesterday. My father passed away 30 years ago, and I wasn't as close to him, but it still is a void. So hopefully, you have found ways to continually cope. I'm thankful right now that my mom's not around, to be honest, because I would not be comfortable with I wouldn't want her to go to the grocery store or anything. I would be very afraid. My mother tended to be someone who didn't put a lot of like weight in, like, oh, I don't need I could just see her. If she was alive now, I don't know that she'd be wearing a mask. Maybe she would. I don't know. Um, oh, wow. 96 and 2017. That was very recent. Oh, I'm so sorry. So sorry. That's horrible. Um, anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap up a little bit, but I want you to know I have other videos that are about isolation and how to deal with things and so forth. I'll try to put the links below, but go ahead and I don't even know that I think that they're all in recent uploads. So I think they're there, but there's definitely stuff there. Definitely, if you're not in the Sanity Soiree, join. It's free. We can interact quite a lot. And thank you. Thank you, Eric. Mwah. And do works. Woo, woo. Oh, there's another thing that I should tell you guys about. Another good idea is if you like to sing or play an instrument, do that now. And when I say play an instrument, especially a wind instrument, but play an instrument, sing, do whatever you can do. I actually just spent an hour singing just because it feels good. It's relaxing. It's getting the blood flowing. So I did my workout. Honestly, this has been like a spa for me. So I worked out this morning, I made my smoothies, I sang, I did a video that I now have to edit. And I just want you guys to be able to connect more. So whatever you want to do for connection, either hop in the Sanity Soiree. There's a paid version and there's a free version. The free version gives you a lot. There's journaling and connection with others, and it's very highly, I moderate it. So no funky people are allowed in there, and if you get funky, you're out. So that's how that goes. I only keep very kind-hearted, kindred spirits in there, and we keep it safe. So, you sing as well? Now, I sing, but I do not sing well. I sing for fun. I also play the harp. Again, not well. So, in fact, there's not a lot that I excel as far as music, but I appreciate music very much. And I think that music is very healing, and the vibration of music is very healing. In fact, I just watched Bocelli sing Amazing Grace. So if you go to his, oh gosh, do that, do that. Like, I'm not supposed to on YouTube for YouTube business. I'm not supposed to send you away from my channel, but definitely go to Bocelli and listen to his Amazing Grace. Whoa, it just like got me. And my mom's actual name was Grace before she was put in the orphanage. So that song has always meant something so beautiful to me. So anyway, on that note, I'm going to go and I will talk to you. Yes, it is good young lung therapy for sure. So I'm going to go, and I might do this every day. Let me know if you'd like me to do this, like, I don't know, maybe not every day. Maybe you don't want to see me every day, but I might do this every day just to keep connection. Definitely, I'm in the Sanity Soiree every single day. So I will talk to you guys very soon. Have a beautiful, beautiful, blessed day. Stay safe and healthy. All right, I'll talk to you. Bye-bye.